Hi there, greetings and salutations. My name is Jake Query. That is Derek Schultz. You would think it's the month of May because we're wearing black and white, but instead I am celebrating 10 years. That is right, 10 of them. 10, a decade of Hoagies and Hops. And the Hoagies and Hops eating contest, which was fabulous this past Saturday. It was always fun. It gets bigger every year.
Yep.
And it was so much fun. The Mother Nature did not cooperate until just leading up to it, and then all of a sudden it cleared up, and it was perfect outside, and great atmosphere. Darren was there, and Pulley was there, and Mel McMahon was there, and Big Joe was there. The usual cast of characters. The defending winner was not there.
Yeah, Cornelius was not there.
Door was open for you.
Door was open. But Sam, who is sitting directly across from me, a three-time champion in his own right, back at the old place.
And the inaugural winner.
Came back to win the championship. Nice guy.
And helping out Hoosier veterans as well.
Helping out Hoosier veterans. It was a great day. I'm still trying to digest the gabagool and all of that, but really, really good.
Did you not bring a sandwich in today?
Really good. No sandwich today. Sorry. Colts had a late kick. And it bumped up against my time when I usually go pick up the Sando. So no Sando today. We're just going to talk about how great the Hoagie eating contest was. I texted Christina, said I was sorry. She said, don't worry about it. You guys are awesome. So, yeah, nothing to eat. We are just going to...
I think actually we have photos from the contest. Do we not?
Did you bring some in?
I told Vince about it.
All right, yeah, there we go.
Here we go. Here is this. Now, this gentleman here...
It's a tiny vertical one.
He went after it and...
He's hoping not to have a reversal.
Yes.
I think.
He went through the first half like in record time. This gentleman right here ended up winning.
That was the winner, yeah.
And Derek is...
There's that handsome guy.
While everybody else is eating, Derek is just...
There's my neighbor, Adam Walter, with the white hat. There I am.
Okay.
Heck yeah. Look at that.
Halfway through.
So I saved the other 9 inches.
And you... Excuse me?
I saved the other 9 inches. So I ate 9, took down 9, and then saved the other 9 for dinner.
But it was, listen, it was wonderful. And this is the big thing. This was all in an effort to help out Hoosier veterans and also food pantries in central Indiana because Hoagies and Hops is very philanthropically involved. But more importantly, there were people arriving wearing Penn State shirts to watch Penn State play. There were people arriving of different teams. You had Philadelphia people there. You had Indianapolis people there. It goes without saying. But it is such a cool... no matter what part of Indianapolis you're from, if you've not gone to Hoagies and Hops, especially this time of year, in the fall when the windows are open with chili water right next door to get a cold beer and to enjoy and to just see people having fun, it is such an awesome neighborhood event, neighborhood location with fabulous sandwiches and beer. It is the place to be. 42nd, right?
42nd Boulevard.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about it coming up later on the segment too. But yeah, it was a great afternoon and a great Sunday for the Colts as they go to 2-0 in thrilling fashion by beating the Broncos 29-28. And we'll get into the good and the bad. And there was actually some bad, unlike Week 1, where there's nothing to complain about. They dominated the Dolphins. Everybody looked great. There were some things I think that we can nitpick from the Week 2 game. But I just wanted to say this, Jake, off the top. I think this is the first time that Colts fans have felt some excitement and felt some optimism about their team probably since December of 21.
Yeah,
after the Patriots win and then they won on Christmas against, or maybe it was the night after Christmas in Arizona, remember?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, they're going to the playoffs. They got a 95% chance. And then we all know what happened after that. The 23 season just kind of was what it was. Like the Colts were gritty and performed valiantly, but you never really were hopeful it was going to be anything more than it was. They were an average football team, and they turned in an average season. Last year, obviously, was wild ups and downs, mostly downs, and it just feels good to be excited and hope about the Colts again. I know it's only 2 games, and I am, like I said on last week's show, I'm not going to make any definitive statements about this team after 2 games. I'm just not. That's not how the NFL works. You need to have a bigger sample. But to be excited and hopeful again is absolutely a good thing for this fan base.
I thought, Derek, and follow me here because it's going to sound odd, I thought the end of that game against Denver was symbolic of the Colts' decision of how this team is going to be this year. And what I mean is this. Late in that game, Shane Steichen knew that the Colts had the opportunity to, say, get a first down, throw for a first down. Daniel Jones had been very consistent in the game, and maybe even go down and score. and score quickly. But he also knew that in doing that, he might be giving the ball back to Denver and giving Denver a chance to come down and score to win the game. As if he was actually saying that he trusted his ability to hit a long kick more than he did his special teams or his defense to prohibit Denver from doing the same. But in addition to that, something strange happened, Derek, at the end of that game. And that is the Colts decided to run the ball 5 of their last 7 plays. There's a lot of criticism of that. And they opted for a 60-yard field goal, which they missed, as we know. That was the deciding to finish it in that fashion was the more conservative approach. It was the take your foot off the gas a little bit, sit back, let things play out as they may approach. Trying to go for it and score a touchdown, trying to, get a first down that way and roll those odds and whatever else to get yourself a 40-yard field goal instead of a 60, whatever, would be more exciting. That would get the roof would have come off the place if they had a big touchdown run from Jonathan Taylor, whatever it might be. That was the more glitzy and sexy way to do it. But they went safe. They went with the more safe and what they thought would be effective means. And granted, they needed the penalty to bail them out. That is symbolic of the Colts' quarterbacking decision going into this season. You had one quarterback that gives you the more exciting, big play, blow the roof off, holy cow, I can't believe what I just watched moments. But they went with the guy that gives them the more methodical, safer, better percentage chances from one play to the next in Daniel Jones, and it's working. And Shane Steichen not only proved why he was hired by the Colts in terms of his ability to assess quarterbacks with that decision, but now in calling plays that benefits Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones, to his credit, is also playing well within what it is that they're scheming. And for right now, it's only 2 games, but it's working.
Yeah, I agree with your overarching point there that they made the decision for Jones, frankly, because, and I'm not saying this to be mean, I'm saying this because it's true, he knows how to play quarterback.
Right.
I mean, he knows how to play quarterback.
Did you see the video that Dominic Miranda, our friend from Channel 13, posted?
Yeah, I did. With Pete Ward and Matt Conti.
No.
Oh, okay.
The practice video.
Oh, no.
At the end of last week, Dominic Miranda, what seemingly innocuous. Every television person does this.
Yeah.
They're out at practice. Practice is about to begin, and TV people are allowed to film for 5 minutes or whatever. And he sends a video that probably he doesn't even realize what he's. I'm not saying Dominic didn't realize, but I don't think anybody realized when you're watching it what you're watching. But he just says, Colts getting ready for their final walkthroughs before getting set for the Tuesday game the Sunday game against Denver. And he shows 2 plays. Daniel Jones taking a snap, rolling out 5 feet, just throwing a pass.
Just B-roll.
To an equipment guy.
Yeah.
Equipment guy catches it.
Sure.
Anthony Richardson rolls out, throws a pass to an equipment guy. It goes 9 feet over his head.
Oh, did it really?
And Richardson continues to run going. And I'm like, there you go.
Yeah.
That's where the decision was right there.
Yeah, the good news is I haven't thought about Anthony Richardson once this entire season, and that wasn't my expectation.
It's over, right?
Yeah, I mean, Jones is playing at a level that he's never played at before. Some people are like, well, I was always, confident that Daniel, people always come out of the woodwork to say, I told you so or whatever. And they're like, I was confident it would come out of the woodwork and he'd perform like this. Look, guys, he's never played at this level. You can go back to 2022 and go through his game log. Daniel Jones has never had consecutive games like this, ever. And he's been in the league for 7 years, 8 years, however long it's been. And good for Shane Steichen for unlocking that. But, I wanted to go back to this because we're going to talk about many happy things, but like the whole thing about how Shane Steichen handled the end of the game, it kind of goes against everything that he is as a head coach. Like, this is the guy that routinely goes for 4th downs, right? This is the guy that continually plays for advantages. The Colts had almost 500 yards of offense. What they did at the end of that game wasn't safe. It was chicken bleep. I mean, that's what it was. There's a difference between being conservative and being safe and being chicken bleep. They tried to blow that game.
Right.
Playing for a 60-yard field goal is horrible process. I have no idea what he's thinking there. And it's
what he said, what he's thinking, Derek, is he wanted to go with the plays. He said, I didn't want to give them time to return a kick.
Yeah, I understand taking the clock off, but you got to get closer than 60 yards, especially for your kicker who is still establishing himself in Spencer Schrader. There's a great shot of Carly Ursay on the sidelines. and she has the headsets on. As we all know now nationally, everybody knows that she wears the headsets. And she reacts to hearing the play call come in on the third down run. And she goes like this. And then kind of gathers herself. I think she's probably realizing, hey, I'm on camera all the time now because somebody's got a camera just fixated on me because there's an NFL owner on the sideline. And we all kind of reacted the same way. Like, as they were playing that out, Jake, I was like, wait a minute. Are they playing for a 60-yard field goal? Like, if you want to be conservative and safe in that spot, why not just take a knee 3 times? That's essentially what they did.
Right.
And as excited as I am for the Colts to win, and as excited as I am for the fan base, I hate to see bad process get rewarded. And Steichen came through and said, look, I was wrong. He eventually, came through and said, hey, I was too conservative. The Colts should have played for at least 1 first down there. NFL kickers are great. I mean, you saw Aubrey make that 64-yard kick. Like, NFL kick, it's not 20, 30 years ago, right? But there's a difference between playing for a 49-yard field goal and a 60-yard one. And I just thought he didn't put them in the best position to succeed there. They should have played for 1 more first down, and they're very, very fortunate because all the talk today would have been about how Steichen blew it. Whereas Steichen has put on a masterclass so far. He's done a wonderful job with this team through 2 games. But if no penalty, we're just talking about, Shane, dummy Shane blowing it again. And so he's really fortunate that that's not the talking point this week. Instead, now, it's 2-0 first place Colts.
Let me ask you this. When the penalty flag was thrown and they called the penalty, what's the first thing you thought of?
The Tampa Bay Monday night game? Yeah.
Is that the only – let me ask you, is that the only time you've ever seen that call?
I feel like –
now, leaping and leverage, I think leaping means that you step off a teammate. Leverage means you push off a teammate. But either way – you are falsely trying to get elevation to block a kick.
Yeah, what I'm kind of curious about is that we're cool with the tush-push stuff. Like, and you see it all the time now on all levels of football. Every single QB sneak has 4 players behind the quarterback going like this. Like, we're not even disguising what we're doing now. And it's like, so are we still enforcing these other penalties? Like, is leverage and leaping really that different from my offensive guard getting behind my quarterback and just shoving him over the line? You know, like, I don't know. It is interesting that the Colts are linked to – I don't know how many teams are linked to 2 game-winning plays like that.
Derek, it literally has to be – and both of them gave them a second opportunity.
Because they missed. Yeah, and both of them were thrillers. I mean, nothing compares to the Tampa Bay comeback. That was an all-timer. But people will remember this Denver game because the Colts have been on the wrong side of that game a lot over these past 6, 7, 8 years. But just the way that the offense is functioning right now. I mean, Denver's no joke. Denver's a good team.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know if they're
probably going to make the playoffs.
As good as people think. Even though I thought Bo Nix was good, I'm not a huge Bo Nix guy. I thought he was really sharp. Then again, guys were running wide open. The Colts had 2 guys off the street for their CB1 and CB2 in that game, and you saw Xavier Howard.
Xavier Howard looked rough, right?
That was really bad. But the Colts offense
was that Antonio Cromartie level?
Yeah, I mean it was even worse than that. But the Colts offense to perform and execute at that level against Denver's defense, I mean, that tells you, again, I want a bigger sample size, but that tells you all you need to know about where they are right now. I mean, they're really humming. And it's a good receiver room. Jonathan Taylor's Jonathan Taylor, right? But he's adding other elements where he's catching the ball and he's blocking. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, for most of his career, was an elite runner, but that's all he could do.
Well, Taylor
could just run. He couldn't block, and he wasn't really a pass catcher. And now he's bringing those things into his game, and it's making him a more well-rounded threat. And it's really putting defenses on their heels.
Using him out of the backfield in the passing game has really been a coup for them.
Yeah, and they're able to do that because he can actually be in there to block when the ball's not going to him.
Here's what I've determined is kind of the blueprint for the Colts. This doesn't make me a Mensa member. The Colts offense, Anthony Richardson, and I know I keep going back to him, but it's because that's the quarterback that we thought we were going to be seeing for a long time, and that he was the guy that, and the Colts will still tell you they have not ruled out the possibility that he's the guy of the future. They're lying in that regard, but that's what they tell you. That offense, Alec Pierce, A.D. Mitchell, they wanted burners to get deep because they thought Anthony Richardson had the strongest arm in the NFL. He could throw 65 yards off his back foot, and they were fascinated by the elite traits athletically that he possessed. The problem is he is a Ferrari which is a fabulous car and sleek and sexy, and it looks unlike, and it has more power under the hood than any car in most people's garages in a subdivision. But the problem is a Ferrari does you no good if you're driving it in Indianapolis, Indiana, especially right now when 90% of the roads are in construction. And that was the problem. They had a Ferrari, and they realized in the NFL you got to be able to kind of fine-tune a little bit. Daniel Jones and what he does, Derek, their offense is going to be set around small passes in the outsets of games, the intermediate, crossing routes, to then kind of spread a defense out or keep a defense honest and move it around. And that's when, because Jones, I think, is maybe a little bit more limited now he's pretty good at going through his reads, but you have to kind of massage things open a little bit for him and get him. He's a rhythm quarterback. It was Tyler Warren in week 1. It was Josh Downs in week 2.
Yeah, you saw a lot more Josh Downs.
And then once they introduced him and Denver honed in on Josh Downs, then all of a sudden, guess what? Alec Pierce becomes like your possession receiver. Alec Pierce? In a new role for Alec Pierce, basically. Then you get A.D. Mitchell. Then you get, you go elsewhere. The point I'm trying to make here is I think there are limited areas where they want to be able to utilize people at the beginning of games, but they have an unlimited number of resources of where to use it. And Jonathan Taylor is now one of them as well in the passing game. But they're using short rhythm passing to get Daniel Jones confident and comfortable. And then you introduce Taylor, and now all of a sudden you've got an offense that is not turning the ball over and is very effective in terms of going out and scoring.
Yeah, really what it is with Daniel Jones, you have to get consistently in situations where you're facing 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3. And that's what they've done so far. They've been so good on 1st and 2nd down that it has put them in advantageous positions to win on 3rd down.
Right.
And that's why they're marching the ball down the field all the time. If you put Daniel Jones, you put any quarterback this way, but especially Daniel Jones, you put him in situations where he's got to convert 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11 consistently. He's not going to be able to do that. At least historically, he hasn't been able to do that. But because it's 3rd and 2 and you have everything, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, you have everything at your disposal. I can hand to Taylor. I could run a short pass. I could do a crosser. I could do something to Tyler Warren. You can basically your entire playbook is open to you. I could run with Jones. Jones isn't immobile. He can't run the way that he could 3-4 years ago.
Did you notice in the first quarter of that game, I think it was mid-first quarter, they had a 3rd and 5, and they did a Jones. It might have been 2nd, but anyway, Jones did a rollout. It almost looked like a quarterback option. And then he kept it and then ran out of bounds. And I wondered if that wasn't a broken play, but he instinctively, I think he does have the ability to tuck and then run when things aren't working out, right?
Yeah, no, he can run for sure. He's
by the way, I love the Jag.
I think all quarterbacks at this point, for the most part, can I have that a little bit.
Can I get the Jag to rest on my microphone?
Yeah, don't mess with the microphone. It's actually in a really good spot, and we were getting good levels, and now Vince is all frazzled, and
Vince is
always frazzled. You shouldn't mess with it. Yeah, you can just. It kind of blocks your face though. Like that looks.
That's okay.
That looks stupid.
No, it doesn't.
It looks weird.
It's the Indy Jags. We have the Jag report coming up.
Yeah,
later.
no, I know. Like
Division
people
I
see
athletics
Jag,
right
so
here.
hi Jag. Now just like put the Beanie Baby back on the desk now.
Why?
Because it's I don't like it. I can't see your mouth move. It's weird. It's like AI is talking to me. No, but don't do that because then we're not gonna be able to hear you.
No, you can hear me.
No, I can't. And now see the thing's falling. Just knock it to the ground.
It's perfect.
Can you hear that,
Derek?
Vince? Can you hear him?
Do we need to have a conversation about the importance of product placement?
I understand the importance of product placement, but we have all of the products placed
Bailey
here.
and Wood right here is our presenting sponsor. That's why we have Bailey and Wood presents Query and Schultz. We want the Bailey and Wood logo right there. We use the Bailey and Wood pens. We have Bailey and Wood hat right here. I mean, it's very important. It's important to our sponsors. I'm wearing Chateau Kitchens, or excuse me, Bailey and Wood now. Hoagies and Hops, Chateau Kitchens right here, and then IU Indy. It's very important, Derek.
That is a cool hat. I do like their logo, the orange and the blue, even though I'm partial to orange and blue, considering who I grew up rooting for. But
the Denver Broncos? Sorry about your luck.
New York Knicks. Also sorry about my luck. 855-350-HOME for our friends at Bailey and Wood Financial Group, BAWFG.com. Get that pre-approval for a home mortgage or refi with Bailey and Wood. I heard rates. My dad's all excited. He just watches the stock market channel all day. and he said that I guess they might be lowering rates this week, Friday or something. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. He's the one that has his finger on the pulse when it comes to that stuff. Hi, Dad, if you're watching. But Bailey Wood Financial Group for refis, for home mortgages, they're going to take care of you. They're awesome. 5-star customer service from Mike and the rest of his team. 20-something Indiana branch locations or bawfg.com. Jake, let's get to our Hoagie and Hero of the Week, even though I don't have either of those things. Well, I mean, I guess I still have a hero. I don't really have a Hoagie of the week. We did the whole hog.
It was great.
Yeah. Delicious. You did a little mini guy, right?
I did.
Were you able to eat the whole thing?
Christina was a little concerned why you were not there to support me.
She was, yeah. She gave me a hard time about that. I was like, do you know how many things that Jake has either been late or no-showed for me? So,
I don't know of any.
yeah, lots of events in my life. But you said you had trouble with I know you're not an onions fan, and you can't take anything off of it. You got to eat it as is.
Yeah, the onions were, and here's the other
It's
thing.
a lot of onion.
Here's the other thing.
I love onion.
A lot of onion, a lot of oil, which was fun.
I love oil.
When I say this, Derek, you're going to laugh at me. And I can hear you right now. You're going to make fun of me, whatever else.
You always have some justification for anything that you fall short in. Any area of life or whatever.
Well,
that
no, I didn't fall
you
short
can't
at
do
all.
or fall
As a
short
matter
in.
of
It's
fact,
there's always an excuse.
I would say this. I did not fall short, and I'll tell you why. I would bet you that because I ate the exact same amount you did.
No.
Yes, I did.
No. Mm-hmm. I ate a full 9-inch hog.
As I did.
All bread.
As I.
All onion.
Well, but what I'm saying
all
is
lettuce.
I was
all oil.
I was tasked with the same thing you were. Because they are cold cuts, it was hard for me to chew because it was cold as opposed to a warmer. Like once you bit in, maybe I have sensitive teeth to temperature.
Yeah, my wife has sensitive teeth like that.
So
yeah.
that made it hard. But also Jason Hammer, this was custom made for him because he's both fat and sloppy, right? and he knew it. And so as soon as they started, he went straight Joey Chestnut in on it, and it was pretty obvious what was going to happen.
He was going to win, yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm good.
I mean, the dude, Sam, who won in front of me, like I'm halfway through my first sandwich, and he's pouring water on his hog, and I was just like, all right, like, you take this thing, my man. Not that I was going to have a chance of winning anyway.
I think if we did next year, if it was the steak and cheese, the Philly steak, the Zaire.
Cheesesteak, it's called.
The cheesesteak, yeah. The Zaire, I think it would be a much closer competition.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe we'll do a cheesesteak one. Maybe you and me will do a cheesesteak one sometime. We'll have
those are so good.
Christina just do that. But, part of it for me for the Hoagie eating contest and the Hog Island, which I love, is just I think it's important for us, for people that are in this position, and I don't want it to come off the wrong way, but I think it's important for us to just do like regular people things and be seen doing regular people things. And so regular people can see us and be like, whoa, like these guys are doing it like at this level. They're here to be among the people. Like that means something to me because, so many people that are in our position, we're well known, we're public figures, the whole deal. They put themselves kind of like in an ivory tower and they wall off other people. I don't want to do that. I want to be a man of the people.
Okay, just
so by jumping into the whole hog like that, I feel like I was a man of the people.
Just so you know, they had 2 competitions during this.
Yeah.
One was for local media celebrities, and one was for non-celebrities.
So there was an ivory tower competition where celebs only went against celebs, and I went in with the regular people because I decided I wanted to immerse myself with the regular people.
Asked for the local media.
I wanted to immerse myself. I didn't want the little baby hog. I wanted the whole hog.
Well, you took half at home.
Give me the whole hog. I did take half of it home. So Sam defeated me mentally. He crushed me mentally with what he was doing directly across from me. Hero of the week. You could go in a lot of different directions here. I mean, certainly Daniel Jones, right, with how he's played. Outside of the last sequence of the game, I would have been happy to give this to Shane Steichen. But I really think a guy that has changed the arithmetic a lot for the Colts here is Tyler Warren. He looks like he's been in the league for 10 years.
Yes.
I mean, that play where he made 2 guys miss, you're like, I haven't seen, since peak Dallas Clark, I've not seen a Colts tight end do that. And they've had some tight ends that have had good years.
He's their biggest weapon on the field.
Yeah,
all the time.
He's been incredible. And, it's so funny, and I don't mean to do this because everybody is a product a little bit of their own circumstances, but when you think of the Loveland kid on Chicago, remember, like, during the whole year, it was Tyler Warren's the best tight end in the draft, and he's unbelievable, and somebody's. And then as the draft process went on, some of the nerds were like, well, he's got some limitations, and I really like Loveland, and Loveland's my T1. And all that, and it's like, no, like don't overthink it, guys. Like the best tight end in the draft is Tyler Warren. I don't need to be a scout. I don't need to like watch film every single day, every single minute of every day, and look up all these measurables and things like that. You know, sometimes you just see it, and you saw it with Tyler Warren. It was obvious, even to like football noobs and a football novice, or even somebody that has only like surface level understanding of football, which is where I would put myself because I'm not like a film guy. You could see that he was special. And the Colts are seeing that through the first 2 games. I mean, already in 2 games, he's given you basically last season's worth of tight end production already.
I mean, he's their biggest weapon on the field, right?
Taylor is still, I think, that. But, Tyler Warren changes things for them. He makes the offense more dynamic.
If you were to redraft the NFL right now, and everybody could take their pick of the offensive player for the Colts, which one's first off the board?
I still think it's Taylor.
Do you?
Yeah. But then after that, it's probably Warren.
Yeah.
Because as good as the receiver room is, it's not a great – you don't have an elite player there. You know, Michael Pittman Jr. is a good, productive player. Michael Pittman Jr. will have a 12-year NFL career and be –
Agreed.
You know, a really nice player. I'm trying to think of like, let me look up this guy's stats and make sure that this is a good comp.
Pittman, give me the franchise.
Okay, this is the guy that I immediately thought of. He played in the division for a long time. He was an AFC player. I think he was their number 1 for a little bit. He was always a number 1 or number 2 guy, but super productive, just a good player. And I think he was a good locker room guy from what I remember.
And he was within...
And he played forever. He played 15 years.
Jacksonville had about 100 of these guys.
Not Jacksonville.
Tennessee?
Yeah. But then he went to another team and also did some good things and was he on their Super Bowl? I don't think he was on their Super Bowl team.
Kevin Dyson.
No. A higher level player than that.
Hit me.
Derek Mason.
Okay.
You know, I'm looking here. Derek Mason finished his career with 943 catches and 12,000 yards. And he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He had 8,000-yard seasons. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm giving Pittman too much credit.
I'll go with the former Colt. Look up Jesse Hester. Reggie Langhorne.
Reggie Langhorne.
Reggie Langhorne.
He's not going to have numbers like Derek Mason did. Langhorne, 5,500 yards receiving. Never had a. Oh, okay. He had 1,000-yard year, 93.
Okay, then look up Jesse Hester.
Jesse Hester. Didn't have a 1,000-yard season. Had 900, 700, 700, 800, 600.
I mean, he played a long time, right?
Middle of the year. Yeah, he played 10 years.
Yes, I mean, look, they have good players. And A.D. Mitchell is, if they can get 3 catches a game out of A.D. Mitchell, you're happy, right? Downs, you know what he's doing. Warren, you know what he's going to do. Pittman, you know what he's going to do. And Pierce is now introducing this new look. And then I've always kind of like Ashton Dulin to come in and make like
Ashton Dulin's great, yeah. And you know what? And Alec Pierce has more in his bag than just, he's a very talented guy. He's a good player.
You know, he supposedly dated that Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, I know. We talked about that on last week's show. I don't want to get
attractive.
I don't want to get down the rabbit hole. Yes. That Sydney Sweeney is one of those people that it's not your opinion that she's attractive. There are people that are so attractive that they are factually attractive. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, it's not like, oh, she's really
good. Give me another example.
But factually, you are attractive.
Okay. Like, give me another example.
Like of a famous person?
Yeah.
That is factually
Give
attractive.
me a guy that's factually attractive.
Patrick Dempsey.
Bradley Cooper's a nice-looking guy.
Bradley Cooper, factually attractive. Yes, that is a great one. George Clooney, factually attractive.
Not so much anymore.
Brad Pitt. Who was the guy that was James Bond that was Stringer Bell? Idris Eba. Factually attractive. Like that Marcus Freeman, factually attractive. Like there are people that are factually attractive.
Marcus Freeman, factually 0-2.
Factually 0-2 as well, yes. But he's looked really good going 0-2. Just like as attractiveness-wise. Maybe not always like coaching wise.
He's a cool guy.
Seems like a cool guy. Yeah. We could talk some college football as well. We'll mix in some of that with the NFL. A really big game for Indiana coming up this weekend.
Correct.
Against Illinois. Purdue falls short against USC. I think there are some positives to take. And then, one thing about Freeman, out of his now 4 years there, they have been in early season crisis mode in 3 of them. And again, early season crisis mode for Notre Dame. So we'll talk about all of that when we come back here on Corey and Schultz, presented by Bailey Wood Financial Group here on the ISC Sports Network.
Too.
Which games are we going to tonight?
You know we cover all sports in Central Indiana. Hop in, it's going to be a long night.
Bailey and Wood Mortgage Lender, proud partner of News 8 Sports Hummer.
Hey, AC!
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap! Duh!
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Welcome back, Corey and Schultz here on the ISC Sports Network. Thanks so much for joining us. Colts sitting alone in first place in the AFC South. In fact, the other 3 teams 1 and 5.
Let me guess here, Derek. We're going to see if we can guess every 2-0 team in the NFL.
Okay.
Can you pull up the?
Really kind of, we only have an hour.
I know. Pull up the standings for me real quick. I'll do this so quickly you'll be highly impressed.
All right.
If you pull up the standings, let me know when you have the standings, and then we'll go ahead and I'll start with my little game here.
Okay. I have the standings.
I am going to guess that the Buffalo Bills are 2-0.
Okay, so we're starting with the AFC. Yes, the Buffalo Bills are 2-0.
Okay, they are the only team in their division 2-0.
There are only 4. Crazy.
Now, another brilliant thing Jake comes up with, and Derek's like, wow, this is interesting. I'm going to guess that the stand by here, I don't think hold on. Okay, the Indianapolis Colts are 2-0.
Yeah. Okay, we've established that. There's 2.
The Los Angeles Chargers 2-0.
Yep.
Now comes the trick here of coming up with, is this one a surprise?
No, but they are facing some circumstances
Bengals
here that might change the
in the NFC. 2-0 teams in the NFC.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
One division has 3 2-0 teams.
Okay, that division with 3 2-0 teams. I'm going to guess that and I'm thinking here off the top of my head. Okay, it's not.
I haven't heard one of these teams mentioned once the entire year. The other 2 I have. I have not. I forgot that they existed this NFL season.
Okay. I'm going to guess that the Atlanta Falcons are 2-0.
No.
Okay. Arizona Cardinals?
Yes.
Okay.
I have heard about them because it's a fun story.
So Arizona's 2-0. I've got to think on the. Okay, hold on. We'll come back.
One of them's obvious. I mean, they've had a really good start to the season here, and I think people view them as a contender. They beat 2 good teams.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Green Bay's obvious.
And the defending Super Bowl champions.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philly's 2-0.
Okay, Dallas?
No.
Okay.
Dallas lost to Green Bay, didn't they?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the team with 3
or
of them.
Or no, they lost to the Eagles. That's who they lost to.
So is the West the team with 3 of them?
Yeah.
It's not San Francisco?
I haven't heard one thing about San Francisco this entire season. They're 2-0.
Okay.
I haven't heard one thing. I haven't watched 1 minute of the Niners play.
I would agree with that.
I have no idea who they played. You know what I mean?
Like Seattle, I know lost.
have no idea.
So I'm missing one team. So you got Arizona, San Francisco. Yeah. Oh, the Rams.
Rams is 2-0.
Yeah. Oh. Did I miss anybody?
No, and I don't think outside of the Cardinals and Colts, I don't think there are really any. And the Buccaneers are 2-0. I don't think there are any real surprises.
I think Tampa's a little surprising. Although, you know what? Tampa, if you look at the game between Tampa and Houston has major problems because C.J. Stroud, a ball placement specialist, as he says, they're not getting him any time, and they cannot run the ball. I don't know that you can even properly assess C.J. Stroud because Houston flat out cannot run the ball. Now, Houston defensively is very good, but Baker Mayfield, man, that guy's a gritty SOB, and you cannot rule out any team in a game when Baker Mayfield is their quarterback. He doesn't come out and blow you away, but that dude is all like just dog. He does not go down, man.
Yeah, I just love the way that he carries himself. I know it's off-putting to some people, but he's clearly
He'd be a great teammate.
he's figured it out. And look, as much as we want to give the Browns a hard time, or the Jets a hard time, or maybe the Giants, if Daniel Jones keeps playing well, a hard time, they deserve a hard time just for being dysfunctional organizations, right? I think that a lot of these quarterbacks, it's due to environment. It's not just quarterback skill. There are some guys that are so skilled that they can overcome every environment, but most of quarterbacks are not like that. And sometimes the change of scenery helps. I mean, hell, it took Baker 4 changes of scenery in order to find somewhere where he fit and he could succeed. Ditto for Sam Darnold. So I don't think it's always about, God, what are they doing? How could they have given up on? I mean, Baker is probably the best example because he played well. In 2020, Baker had a good season. He was a good player for them. They ended up winning a playoff game, didn't they, that year? I know it was the COVID year and it was a little weird, but Baker performed well. Sam Darnold never played well for the Jets at any point. And there are a couple of guys that were reclamation projects that never really showed anything.
Who was the last Jets quarterback that showed promise and you were like, they have their guy that gave them sustainable, repeatable years of high-quality play at quarterback? I have a thought in my head here.
The only guy that I could think of that actually stuck around and had some longevity, and you were like, hey, this guy is a perfectly competent NFL quarterback, was Chad Pennington.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
because even
Sanchez
was this.
He gave them a flash, but man, when it fell off, it fell off quick.
And he was Wentz in a lot of ways, I think, where the bad was just so bad that you couldn't feasibly put him out there.
Speaking of quarterback play, and just to show how, in my opinion, in the NFL, how shallow the talent pool is of true, game-leading quarterbacks there are. There are 4 quarterbacks that we now know through 2 weeks are going to be hurt and miss some time. I would like for you, Derek Schultz, to tell me who is the replacement, the backup for any of these 4. You ready? One of them you'll know immediately. Joe Burrow.
Oh, Browning.
Turf toe. Jake Browning.
Jake Browning, yeah, okay.
And I think he's actually decent. He throws for a lot of yards. Okay, J.J. McCarthy.
Wentz.
Out. What's that?
Wentz is his backup.
Correct.
Yeah.
Justin Fields.
Who's the backup in New York? I really don't know.
Okay, Jaden Daniels.
Oh, is it the kid from North Carolina, Sam Howell? Is he still in Washington?
Okay, that might be right. One of these is Tyrod Taylor, I think.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think Tyrod Taylor's one.
Tyrod Taylor. Let's see.
Isn't it Huntley? Huntley is typically a safe one.
He was with the Dolphins, yeah.
Huntley's a safe one to throw in
Tyrod Taylor
somewhere.
with the Jets.
Tyrod Taylor's the Jets, okay.
And who's the other team we're looking for?
The Commanders.
Commanders.
Sam Howell sounds like a decent guess.
I don't know if that's right, if he's even in the league. Oh, Mariota. I did know that because he started a game or two last year.
Mariota.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota. Who's an 11-year NFL vet at this point.
You know what?
Isn't that insane?
Marcus Mariota must be a decent guy. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but part of how you last that long is you are a solid locker room guy.
I'll tell you what.
He's Trent Green.
You're Willie McGee. So there's a category of anybody outside of St. Louis has no idea how revered Willie McGee is.
Right.
Marcus Mariota is that in Oregon. He is an icon. I mean, they have statues of that dude.
Really?
At UO. Yeah, it's crazy.
He won the Heisman.
But if you think about it in Oregon football history,
he
went to the national championship game. They've never won the championship, and he won the Heisman.
I'm going to put myself on the potential here to be really, because I feel like there's one more recently I'm missing. Is he Oregon's only Heisman winner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, they've had Keely Smith and Joey Harrington, and they've had some other quarterbacks that have come through there. But, yeah, I mean, they have a whole, Mariota donated his Heisman to the university, so they have a whole shrine room for his trophy.
You know the greatest quarterback in Oregon history?
Who? I don't know. Tell me. Why are you smiling? What is it?
4,000-yard passer back when nobody threw for 4,000 yards. The definition, the poster child of unbelievable offense, not a very good defense, and just could not get it done. The Indiana Pacers of the NFL.
Dan Fouts?
Yes.
Did he go to Oregon?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And
I did not know Dan Fouts went to Oregon.
When Dan Fouts was at Oregon, they had two coaches, one in football, one in basketball. The two coaches, the basketball coach who later coached for the Pacers was Dick Harder. Mm-hmm. The football coach was Dick Enright. And they had T-shirts that made the joke with using the first name and then the two last names. But anyway, you can.
What's the joke?
I'll write it down for you. So you had Dick.
Dick Harder.
Uh-huh.
Dick Enright.
Mm-hmm. You couldn't get one without the other.
You couldn't get. You could make it.
The football coach was Dick Enright.
Yeah,
and the basketball coach was
okay.
The basketball coach was Dick
make
Harder.
That right. Yeah.
And basically, what they were saying was that you can't have the football coach without the basketball coach.
Like a hard right, like you're jerking the wheel.
No. Well, I mean, but no.
Right
no.
hard. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
Following.
Well, tonight about 2 a.m. it'll hit you.
Oh, this is like a erection joke. Is that what we're doing?
I'm just.
Can we say that on the show? Let's ban that word in case. I think this is probably the first time that word has ever come up on the show. Let's ban that word.
You said it. I didn't.
I know. Yeah, but let's ban. Or actually, let's just grab it in post and then we'll say. I'll put in the show notes.
I don't think you want to say that either.
Banned?
Well, you've used like jerk the wheel and grab it and.
Gross. Yeah, like you're being sophomoric here.
No, not at all. I'm just telling you, it's an interesting fact about Oregon athletic history.
And this is after last week where we did the whole hog thing. We made a whole joke about that, and they have great cans, and now we're going down this road again. That's why this show's just hemorrhaging viewership because people are just tired of the antics. Let's talk
hemorrhaging. We're hemorrhaging viewership. No, there's no way that we might be trickling viewership.
Dick Trickle. Yeah, I remember the old stock car driver, Dick Trickle.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So again, yet another problem, right? In order, if for example you've got the football coach, maybe it's because you're having problems with the racer.
Didn't the Reds have a bench coach? What was his name? Dick something. Let me look that one up. I thought there was another funny one. Not Dick Rod. That doesn't make. Let's see. Dick. You got to be very careful when you search these things. Dick Reds, Cincinnati Reds.
Don't go to
bench coach.
the Indiana Fever. Don't go to their website.
Reds bench coach. Dick Schofield. No, that's not who I wanted. That's yeah. We had the vice principal at my middle school is named Dick Seaman. Well, no, sorry. Let me. His name was Richard. He was smart enough to go by Richard. But the kids, that's how we referred to him. That one just popped in my head because I was thinking the funny names that go with that. And yeah, it was Seamen, but obviously the same pronunciation. Yeah.
And this guy,
Vice Principal Richard Seaman.
And this guy decided to make a living surrounding himself with middle school children.
And let me tell you, when you're in 8th grade,
yeah, I mean that's what I mean.
There is
nothing against. I'm not saying he was nefarious.
There is nothing that would bring you more pure joy as an 8th grade boy than having a school administrator that would have that name. He was a great educator too. We all really liked him. That's the thing. Like we didn't do it in a derogatory way. It was more in like a lovingly type way. You have that name, even if I like you, you're going to use it. I mean, guys are going to rag on guys, right? That's what you're going to do. Dick Paul. That's what it was. Dick Paul was the Cincinnati Reds coach. It just got into my head. I knew it was like Rod or Staff.
Well, I mean, what? I just happened to mention two factual names, right? Dick Harder and Dick Enright, and the T-shirts that were made. And now, I mean,
yeah.
what?
He was the pitching coach for the Reds from 07 through 09. He was 6'3". Or 1.91 meters tall.
Okay.
If you wanted to know how big Dick Paul was. Yeah.
Do we really need to know the The meter?
Yeah.
I mean, really?
Dick Pole played for the Red Sox and Mariners and was a coach for the Cubs, Giants, Sox, Angels, Indians, Expos, Cubs, and Reds. So his last year was 2009.
I wonder why he couldn't stick anywhere. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems like a rather vagabond career.
Yeah, no, because I always heard Dick Pole is a stand-up guy. And so, he did stick around. He just kind of bounced around to a bunch of different places. But, yeah.
Did he win a title anywhere?
He was never a World Series champion,
so
no.
I didn't know if he was known to rise to the occasion or, you know what I mean?
No, never erected a trophy. What were we going to we were going to talk about college football. I'm so happy that I thought of that name because I was like, there was a guy in the Reds that had a name. How did we get on that? We went from backup quarterbacks to Marcus Mariota to Dick Harder.
Do you think anybody at this point is
still watching it? No, it still watches
Is anybody still listening to this at this point?
No.
Or watching it, anything?
That's one of the 3 or 4 times that we've both kind of been crying laughing, though, on the show. Remember we found out the dolphins milk their young?
Okay.
That was another time that we...
I don't need to... I think you did an impersonation of dolphins squeezing their nipples.
Well, they scored it. They scored it at their young. That's how they get it in their little dolphin mouths.
You lost it when you used the terminology. You lost it.
Yeah, because they can't suckle. They can't get on there. If you needed to know more about dolphin milk. College football. Let's talk about that. Indiana's preseason is over. They knocked off Indiana State 73-0, and now the real tests begin. A top 20 matchup against Illinois.
And look, I have every reason to think that Indiana's going to be fine because this is what they did a year ago. They learned this, and Curt Cignetti, give him credit. It's what they've done, right? They get out to a lead on somebody, and then they just compound. But I have to admit, Derek, what you do ask yourself, what do you learn from beating Indiana State 73?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think, Old Dominion, who beat Virginia Tech, actually turned into a decent, that's a decent group of 5 opponent, but the other teams that they played just really had no chance in Indiana State. I mean, it's not only is it an FCS program, it's just not a good FCS program, right? Unfortunately. And so I kind of agree with you. It's sort of like, at one point, I think Indiana State had 2 total yards. Yeah. And they were down 59-0 or whatever it was. And it's like kind of, what do we even at the end of the day, it's still an in-state opponent. And, while I don't think that they intentionally run up the score, I think Indiana just doesn't really call the dogs off. But still, isn't it great that Indiana's in a position where we're questioning whether they're running up the score? I mean, that's where Indiana football is right now.
Derek, I don't know enough about Illinois. I mean, I know last year they had a very athletic quarterback. They had some do you remember when Brett Bielema was at Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Remember this fun fact?
That he came on the show and he wrote us a thank you card?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a nice thing to do.
Totally.
Because some people don't seem to like Brett Bielema.
I've always appreciated that. Like Brett Bielema, when we did the radio show back at the old radio station, we had him on. Wisconsin was getting ready to play either IU or Purdue. And so Brett Bielema came on as a guest of the program, and we had him on. And then, whether or not it was actually Brett Bielema that wrote it, I don't know. But we got a
handwritten
stationary
card.
handwritten card, thanking us for promoting Wisconsin football, which I thought was super cool. It is a big time matchup. It's going to be a prime time matchup at Memorial Stadium. It'll be fun. This is why you hire a coach like Curt Cignetti, and this is what happens when you put yourself into that level now of being really one of the marquee games. College game day probably should be there, but they're going with Florida, Miami. I get that, but it's a big one. And for Indiana, it's a big one because it starts a 3-game stretch that is critical because they go Illinois, then they go at Iowa, and then at Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that if Indiana's going to go back to the playoff, they got to win this game because you don't want to leave you want to leave yourself in a position where all you have to do is maybe split at Penn State or Oregon, or even lose both of those games and still potentially get in at 10-2. Which, if Illinois has a really good season and you beat them, that could happen. Luke Altmaier, by the way, is the quarterback. Good player, and Illinois was a little bit of the darling this year. Like when you get past Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, the usual suspects, the surprise team, if you will. I know they entered the year in the top 15, so how much of a surprise could they be? A lot of people had Illinois. But I'm just interested to see what Indiana has. I mean, I don't care who you're playing. It's hard to beat anybody 73-0. And they've worked out the kinks a little bit. Mendoza's going to been a really good player so far, whereas we've seen a lot of the other NFL draft drool type quarterbacks struggle so far. So we'll see.
Now, on the other hand, Derek, the other Big Ten team of note, and we'll get to Notre Dame in a second. I thought after the long delay, I love Ross-Ade Stadium under the lights. I just think it's a great environment. I think it's cool. I love the black Purdue helmets. I love all of it. I thought, considering, and we don't know yet really exactly who USC is, but in branding certainly, and just overall, you assume that they've got players, at every position. But I thought Purdue, they had some red zone deficiencies, but I thought Purdue showed themselves to be far more competent than a year ago, far more dialed in. I really do like, and I know that you're looking for wins. I get it. But I really like the direction right now, at least in a very small sample size of what I've seen from Purdue in terms of just turning their program around and getting a foundation that can get them back to, say, like the Brom level of competitiveness within the conference.
Yeah, they showed a lot of fight. They committed 3 red zone turnovers, but if you would have handed me a score sheet and said, hey, Purdue's going to lose the turnover battle 3-0 to USC, I thought the final margin be 60 instead of 16. And obviously they were overmatched on both sides of the ball on the lines because that's going to happen against a team like USC. But I thought they showed well for themselves for the most part, outside of the sloppiness. But yeah, I mean, Barry Odom knows what he's doing, and Purdue desperately needed somebody that knew what they were doing to kind of steady the ship for this program. So it's a long road back, Jake. I mean,
I know.
If Purdue goes 4-8 this year, that's a good year. All things considered, but it's a long road back.
How worried are you about Notre Dame?
I am very concerned because, if they would have lost that game, I don't know, 14-13, 17-16, then, maybe you think to yourself, whatever. To give up, not that Texas A&M is not talented, but the defense was lost all night. And this is largely, outside of what you lost on the defensive line and like Xavier Watts, this is largely the same personnel group that they had last year. Just they don't have their defensive coordinator anymore because Al Golden went on to the NFL, and now you bring in Chris Ash, the former Rutgers head coach. And it's just, A&M should have had 60 points. They had guys running open all night. So as good as they were, and as much as they moved the ball with ease, they missed a bunch of open receivers too. And that gives me a lot of worry. Last year after the Northern Illinois game, it was more of a crisis point because it was Northern Illinois. But you thought to yourself, okay, if they could get Riley Leonard right with this schedule, they can be okay.
Right.
They don't have that ability now because, yes, the schedule lightens.
I'll give them credit.
It's still a better schedule than it was last year.
They bolstered their schedule. I'll give them that.
And now you have C.J. Carr.
In Notre Dame's defense, and I'm not one to defend Notre Dame, but in Notre Dame's defense, they've got Boise State on the schedule, and that was when they scheduled Boise State was probably ranked 8th in the country. You know what I mean? I mean, they catch a little bit of a break there perhaps, but.
And at Arkansas is kind of like the SEC equivalent of at Iowa. That's a tricky game. The fans are into it. It's a tough place to play. Yeah, I know Arkansas is rarely awesome, you know what I mean? But like that can be a tricky game. And I guess Notre Dame just didn't have the ability to work the kinks out like they have in previous years. I mean, Northern Illinois was supposed to be a work the kinks out game. Marshall was supposed to be a work the kinks out game. They ended up losing those games. But yeah, they need to all of the good. I think what you would hope for as a Notre Dame fan was after last year's run, this is the new standard for the program, right? And now starting 0-2 and looking as listless as they did in week 2, because I think the Miami effort was fine. I wasn't losing any sleep over that. You kind of wonder, okay, well, maybe this isn't the new standard for the program.
Right.
So that's what you worry about going forward.
Best team in college football is?
From what I've watched, Oregon. But that's just from what I've watched. I can't give – Penn State might be the best team in football. Yeah. I can't give them the benefit of the doubt until I see it. Because it's Franklin, because it's Drew Aller. I can't do it.
I told you.
I can't do it.
I mark my words, Penn State every year. Undefeated, going up against undefeated Ohio State. Third quarter, Penn State's up 17-6. Let's go. And then, boom, they lose 24-7.
Penn State has to win a big game for me to hop
that's
on.
Fair.
They have to win a big game. One.
That's fair.
But I do wonder, I mean, LSU wins their game against Florida, and you're like, okay, this is pretty good. And then it's like,
I think
is that
LSU might be good.
And then Clemson. I mean, I guess I'll ask you because people on this show know that you're a Clemson guy. Is it just time? Is it? Is it time to?
No, I don't
think
know
about moving on.
No, I don't think that's the case. I think in Clemson's case, I do believe they have a very good quarterback, but they have young receivers. They didn't time it out in terms of their stars. Like, I just don't think offensively they can move the ball enough. Defensively, they're okay. Tom Allen's their D coordinator, so, But
I don't know enough about them, but I know that Dabo is a little bit old school, and with this NIL transfer portal thing, are they just getting left behind a little bit?
Yes, they have to get into the portal.
Yeah.
They refuse to use the transfer portal.
I mean, you got to, NIL and transfer portal really help programs like Indiana, and you wonder there are also programs that it probably hurt, and Clemson looks like one that it really hurt because they, and they could sit back and keep churning out 10-3 seasons, I guess, but Dabo raised the expectation level there, and they've got a lot of resources to be.
He's making $9.5 million a year.
Yeah, they got a lot of resources to be better than that.
Are you ready for the Jags report?
Do you want to do that right now, or do you want to wait until the next segment? I guess we're talking college sports, so we can do the Jags report right now.
The Jags report for IU Indy, Division I athletics right here in Central Indiana, and that's the thing I love about it because, number one, you're rooting for, in a lot of cases, student athletes that grew up right here in Central Indiana. Number two, I always make this point. When I was a kid, my dad would take, my buddies and I out to different smaller school games around Central Indiana, and I loved it because I got to see Division I athletics, and it also introduced me to just the college atmosphere, the college culture. And I think for young people in an affordable fashion, and I've got a way that you can see some games for free coming up, that's exactly what you get out of IU Indy. So without further ado, let's start with basketball for the IU Indy Jags report, okay? It is Regatta Homecoming Week, and that means for men's hoops coming up this Saturday, 11:30 for free. This will be an awesome opportunity. Take kids down, whatever it might be, even high school kids, any kids that want to watch Division I scrimmage for free at 11:30 at the Jungle on Saturday, September the 27th, actually, the 27th, so coming up a week from this Saturday. In the Jungle, you can meet the team, go to the Regatta events at Military Park, and then you get a chance to buy your season tickets. They'll have it right there where you can buy your season tickets. Pick your seat out for the year, where you want to sit for the year. September 27th, all getting underway, the red-white scrimmage for IU Indy, and it is free, 11:30 at the Jungle on Saturday, the 27th. All right, let's get to men's soccer. They went 1-0 in league play now because they got a win over Wright State, 2-1. Stan Claver got a goal. And Saturday at 5 o'clock, they will take on Milwaukee, as you see Thompson Roberts also with a goal. So men's soccer for IU Indy, they are 1-0 in league play. And on Saturday, they will try to go 2-0 when they take on Milwaukee at Michael Carroll Stadium. That, by the way, fabulous stadium. Professionally, it's used, so you know it's good for Division I soccer as well. On the women's side in soccer, they got a draw against Toledo, 1-1. Freshman Casey Simmons had the goal. The Jags open Horizon League play coming up this Sunday. They are noon against Northern Kentucky. So you got Saturday men's soccer, Sunday women's soccer at Michael Carroll Stadium. Volleyball going to be at home on this Thursday. So during the course of the week, a chance for you 48 hours from right now, for example, to watch against Eastern Michigan in the Jungle at 7 o'clock for volleyball. Now here's the thing. For volleyball on Thursday, I mentioned free way to see Division I athletics. Volleyball on Thursday, okay? Men's soccer on Saturday. They are part of the Champions for Literacy program. So, volleyball on Thursday in the Jungle, men's soccer on Saturday at Michael Carroll Stadium. Both of them free admission if you bring a gently used or a new book for the Champions for Literacy program. And again, a week from Saturday, September 27th, men's scrimmage. You'll hear me talking about it next week as well. The red and white scrimmage, 11:30 at the Jungle, and then your chance afterwards to get your season tickets, pick out your seat for the year. I love
Very
the
cool.
Jag.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. IUINDY. I still need to talk to Lauren et al. To see if they're going to do that with their fight song. I think that's just a little tweak, a little change that they can make and have it be the fight song.
Say it again.
So it used to be dun 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 IUPUI dun
Right.
dun 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 IUPUI dun 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 dun
Right.
dun 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 dun
Okay,
dun.
and
I
I
don't
get all
know the
that.
words of the fight song, but instead of IUPUI, I mean you have to like go quick.
Get it.
But IUINDY dun dun dun.
Okay, that's not bad.
Right? Like in
That's not bad.
I mean I work for a marketing team. I'm not on the marketing side.
What about
but I work for-
IUJAG?
No, it doesn't work. Doesn't flow off the tongue. That's why you're not in marketing. That's why you're just the pretty face. We come back on the show. We'll get into our quick hits and also do Bite or Bull Bleep. It's Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network.
At Bailey and Wood, we pride
Welcome back, Corey and Schultz. We're actually running over because of Jake's sophomoric segment. If you want to just scroll right through that, maybe you already had to go through it if you're watching this in the live stream. I'm sorry. Spent probably a little too much time on Dick Pole, etc.
How's that last name spelled, by the way?
Pole, yeah.
Okay, well that's better.
There was a Dick
That's
Pool,
much better. I thought
though,
it was,
too, right?
I thought it was Pull.
Wasn't there? Was there a NASCAR driver named Dick Pool? Well, Dick Trickle was the first one that came up. Yeah, we knew about that one. That's an all timer. Wouldn't you just go by Richard, even if you didn't like Richard or Rich?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you just go by Rich
Yeah,
Trickle?
Probably,
Right?
yeah.
Like our vice principal, Richard Seaman, was smart enough to go by Rich. I mean, I think his friends called him Rich.
And you guys didn't?
Oh no, it was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. We called him Dick Seaman. Yes, yeah, that's what we called him. Of course. I mean, come on, you're in middle school. What do you think?
I'd like to apologize to Bailey and Wood.
No, we don't need to do the formal apology. We've done a lot of those on the show.
I'd like to apologize to Hoagies and Hops.
Okay,
I'd like to apologize.
let's get to our quick hits.
Chateau Kitchens, IU Indy.
We should just
I
put the
promise-
disclaimer on the bottom. Like instead of high school football, Warren Central at Ben Davis, just put a disclaimer. We apologize.
I promise.
to anyone that is viewing the show.
Next week, the professionalism begins.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. Indiana Fever in action probably as we speak, unless you're watching it after the fact. Maybe they've already been eliminated. I just want to say this, Jake. I know this was a disappointing season in the sense that they didn't, or in all likelihood, I guess they haven't been eliminated yet as we start this show and tape the show early Tuesday morning. But I think I appreciate the effort. I appreciate them cutting it out. I think that endeared.
they were decimated by
themselves
injuries
to the fan base, and yeah, what a insane run of poor injury luck. Carson Wentz will start for his 6th team in 6 years. We just talked about this NFL
hold on.
record.
Really?
It has never been done before. No quarterback has started for 6 teams in 6 separate years. 6 straight years, I should say.
Okay. I'm going to guess the 6. You ready?
Okay, yep.
Philly,
Yep.
Indy.
Yep. Where'd he go right after Indy? You remember that one. He was traded there. Colts actually got a 3rd rounder out
Oh,
of it.
I should know this. Give me the division.
NFC East.
Wait, where did he go? Washington?
Yeah, you don't remember that? The middle team in here I don't remember.
Kansas City?
Kansas City was last year, and he started week 17 because they rested. And then obviously the Vikings, because that's who he's going to start for this week. I don't remember him playing for this team at all.
Okay, hold on. What division?
NFC West. I don't remember this.
Rams.
Yeah. Do you remember that? I don't remember
Vaguely,
that.
yeah.
I don't remember him playing and starting a game for the Rams. No recollection of that. But good for him. What a weird career. Really weird.
I mean, his rookie year when he got hurt, people in Philly thought it was, I mean, you know what I mean?
I mean, people thought, and, to be fair, he finished like 2nd or 3rd in the MVP voting that year, but, we just kind of got way ahead of ourselves there with Carson Wentz. Brian Kelly apologizes to a reporter. Did you see this little tirade he went on?
The guy's just a jerk.
He's just a
man.
jerk. Yeah.
I don't know him personally.
He's a
but-
jerk. I think you could say that. He's just not a nice person. He brought Notre Dame back to a consistent level again, right? I think he's a heck of a coach, but he's just not a nice person. He said, I texted with the reporter, offered my apologies for the way that I handled the questioning.
Well-
I think it's important to understand that my standards are relative to how we work with the media on a day-to-day basis. They need to be higher, and I take responsibility for that, and I'll be better in the future.
Okay, listen. while we're on the subject of apologies, how about Ken Rosenthal?
What happened?
Ken Rosenthal.
How did I miss this?
He was doing an interview with the Milwaukee Brewers had clinched the division.
Okay.
Not the division, sorry, the postseason. Ken Rosenthal was standing there getting ready to interview a Brewers player when the teammates came over and did, a Gatorade shower.
Sure.
Ken Rosenthal, to jump out of the way, it's kind of a lighthearted moment. He jumps out of the way, and the Brewers team photographer was down to take a picture, and Rosenthal backs into him, knocking over the photographer. And Rosenthal then stared him down, brushed him away, walked away, was doing the interview, and then stared him down a second time. And people are like, dude, what is your problem? Like, you knocked the guy over, knocked him flat on his back.
And it was clearly an accident, right? On
of
both
course,
sides.
of course. Yeah. But he later came out and made this big apology about, I was on live television, and I'm like, I've worked live television. A lot of people were saying that, just, hey, you have time to stop and just check on the guy. He did kind of an odd flex. That's all.
I think, and I don't think this is a majority of cases, but, from working kind of, if you want to peek behind the curtain, you and I both know that there were people that even other people thought, oh, he's a great guy, or she's awesome. And they, because of who they were on camera, and you see them behind the scenes when the camera's off, and you're like, I don't want to be around that person.
Right.
Yeah. So there are definitely those people.
Give me an example.
No, I mean, my ultimate example, and this was a bummer because he was a childhood hero of mine. He's part of the reason that I wanted to be the sports editor of my paper and wanted to get into sports media. But I saw him at the Final Four. You weren't with me. You were at an IndyCar race. We were at the Final Four in Atlanta, and he was berating a low-level NCAA employee. And everybody in the room was just like, oh, my God. Like, I think some people went up to the employee afterwards like, hey, really sorry that he acted that way. Nobody should be treated that way.
New York writer?
Yeah. But he had a national platform. He did sports reporters with Dick Schaap and all that stuff. He was a very well-known sports columnist, not just in New York.
Do his first two initials happen to be the first two initials of a professional sports league in the United States?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Not a good person.
Fair enough.
From what I heard. We'll come back and talk about good people because we're good people.
Okay.
You know who's a good person? Dick Bull. He's a good guy. Stand-up guy, that Dick Bull. Bite or Bull Bleep. We come back. It's Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network. Sorry, it'll never not be funny.
Hey, AC, which games are we going to tonight?
You know we cover all sports in Central Indiana. Hop in. It's going to be a long night.
Bailey and Wood Mortgage Lender, proud partner of News 8 Sports Hummer.
Hey, AC,
Nice snap.
mortgage is a snap. Duh.
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Back for a final time, Corey and Schultz, presented by Bailey Wood Financial Group here on the ISC Sports Network. He's Jake, I'm Derek. Thanks so much for joining us. Bite or Bowl Bleep time, brought to you by our friends at Chateau Kitchens. In-home transformations, that's what they do. At Chateau Kitchens on Instagram and Facebook. You don't even have to take my word for it. Look at the before and after pictures. They do an amazing job. Stephen Moore, the rest of his crew. Megan, our designer, was awesome. They're great. Ryan, every Ryan that works there is great. Anybody named Ryan is trustworthy. Some of their project managers, some of their workers, they're awesome. ChateauKitchens.com to get your project started as well. Kitchens, bathrooms, home remodeling with our friends at Chateau Kitchens. Statement number one for Bite or Bowl Bleep. Jake, it's insane that we typed this out, but Colts need to think about an in-season contract extension for Daniel Jones if this continues. Bite or Bowl Bleep. Or would you wait till the very end of the year?
Man.
Or would you not do it at all?
I don't know that I'd do it.
Yeah.
I
What
think
if he has a great year? What if he's like?
I think his ceiling is 10-7, right?
Yeah. I mean, look. I promise I wouldn't overreact.
You know
to 10
what?
games.
Let me rephrase that. Yeah, you do it, and then you still keep looking in the draft for a quarterback that you can now organically grow.
Yeah, that's fair. What if the approach is you extend Jones? I mean, you're going to have to really pay him, even for middling. Look what Sam Darnold got.
Right.
That's the quarterback tax. But then you can maybe use a draft pick on somebody else,
or
even wait another year and
organically
then use a draft
develop
pick
them.
then.
Yes.
I just messed up the arm here. I don't know what I did.
How about I have one for you? Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Buy it or Bullschultz. The Colts will be leading the AFC South when they go into their bye week, which is November 16th.
Buy it or Bull Bleep. The Colts will be leading the AFC South, November 16th. Yeah, I think that is not just a statement about how I need to be a little bit more bullish on the Colts, but a statement on the rest of the division. Yeah. I just don't think Houston's very good. I don't think Houston and Jacksonville, and I think Tennessee's one of the 5 or 6 worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
So I think Houston and Jacksonville.
Who's the worst team in the league?
Oh, it's Tennessee easily. But you can understand, they're breaking in a new quarterback and the whole deal. Like Houston and Jacksonville still have their quarterbacks and still have some continuity on their teams, but you can understand why it's happening the way that it is with Tennessee. Buy it or Bull Bleep. Indiana will finish as a better will finish better in the rankings than Notre Dame.
Buy it.
I'm torn on this one. I'm gonna say Bull Bleep for now because I had Indiana at 9-3. Even though there's no reason to think that Notre Dame's going to go 10-2, and they don't have a great. I mean, they've got USC.
Notre Dame loses one more game than
then they're 9-3.
Yeah,
and Indiana's probably got more chances at better win. Yeah, okay. Maybe I do buy it. Now that I think about it some more, maybe I do buy it. Wow, good for IU. Thanks to all of our great sponsors, Chateau Kitchens, Bailey and Wood Financial Group, our presenting sponsor, of course. Chili Water Brewing, and our friends at Hoagies and Hops. Man, what an awesome time we had. I can't wait for the next hog eating Hoagie eating contest, the Hog Island. And of course, IU Indy Jags Athletics for Vince and for Brant and for everybody else, for Dick Pohl. Thank you for watching. Dick Trickle, RIP. It's Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network.
At Bailey and Wood,